Hey, good morning guys. So I will be taking you for a short little tour around my place, and this is to show where I'll be doing my recording. So now, as you can see here, we have a little space for me to be able to shoot. So this is one of the angles I'll be shooting from. I'll be moving this as I was thinking of putting the drums over here. Over here, as you can see where the keyboard is, this is probably more or less where the keyboard will be. Right now I'm standing where the guitarist will be standing, and then the bassist will be right over here. So this is where I'll be actually walking in from this way. So it starts off a cappella, and then I'll probably be standing right about here, and I will be able to see the keyboardist, the drummer, which will be right where the table is right there. The guitarist will be there, bassist will be there. I'll be singing from here. So with this office space, I'll be doing a little tiny desk performance. Of course, that is entirely assuming that it is going to be possible with the rest of the musicians. Now, if I cannot do it with the rest of the musicians, I might actually just do it over here. I might be able to do it over here, and then with the lighting, as you can see, I've got some interesting colored lights that will actually allow me to have a very interesting feel for every song, whereby the colors of the lighting would change according to the mood that I'm trying to set at that point in time. So as you can see here, this is at the moment without the proper lighting, but I'm very well backlit, so all I need to do is have a spotlight on me and I can already play, and that will be how my performance would more or less look like. Leading up to that, I've already gotten my band together. I have a drummer, the guitarist, the bass. I have a backing vocalist as well as myself. Keyboardist. I've got a videographer, and sound will be handled by me. I'll start the recording of the sound, and then only I'll start the performance itself. So we are getting a voice recorders kind of thing that has multiple inputs, and then I'll be miking up the whole room, and that way we can actually get a good quality of sound. Aside from that, we have a fairly good idea of what needs to be done. We have already pre-arranged the meetings. I've already gotten ready to send them the recordings. They've all agreed to it. I will be preparing the chords for them because my list of songs will be 5 of my originals, and there will be one other song which is a cover. So my songs all have a very similar sound to them. The last song, which I'm going to close with a cover, not an original, so that people still feel the connection to the songs, is actually going to be a John Mayer song. And the reason I chose that is because, firstly, it's a song that most people listening will be familiar with, and secondly, it gives the musicians a chance to shine with a song that is already known, and so it will give people a very nice connection to the overall performance. Because as Liz Pipe actually quoting Jane Davidson and George Salgado Correa, they actually write that communicator interacting with co-performers to regulate the performance needs to be unified, not just in the performance, it also needs to be unified in repertoire, so the overall feel of the whole performance needs to be cohesive. Aside from that, if I'm performing on my own, I also would like to quote Liz Pipe as saying that it is an individual interpreter of the narrative and expressive emotional elements. So most of my songs have a similar emotional expression. So my last song, the cover, I have chosen that also because I can adequately and accurately express the emotional content involved with it. Now this performance will take into account the research by Joseph Bassiner in his paper, The Art of Musicianship in Performance, whereby he actually quoted R.G. Collingwood and said that the craftsman knows what he wants to make before he makes it. And the fact that I've written most of these songs means that I am, to a certain extent, a craftsman. And then on top of that, the artist, on the other hand, is likely to develop various solutions to write and rewrite. So this is when I actually rework my own work, because for recording purposes, there are a lot of things that I can execute, but when I am trying to perform it live and on my own, it's impossible for me to execute the same set of sounds, for example, that I can get in the recording studio, and that's why I will rework my performance to suit the setting and the availability of instruments. Now, having considered all those factors, whether I will be able to do it on my own or with the group. That is dependent on the current challenges that I have in Malaysia, where we are currently going under another lockdown. We are planning for the group performance, but if that gets cancelled due to the difficulty of travel and the restrictions imposed by the government, I will actually be looking at the various possibilities of who will be able to be involved, and then on top of that I will also prepare for the possibility that I'll record on my own. I know that this is definitely a challenge. You want to make it as smooth and as simple as possible, but at the same time be able to connect with more people. I am confident that as the days go by, as we plan and we prepare and my videographer and I discuss things, we should be able to pull off a fairly decent performance overall.